Oh, thank the hockey gods. What's up? Bergeron finally retired. Krejci's sure to be right behind him. The Bruins are finally done. Well, are you sure they're going to be bad? You know, I spent years being terrible to put together the core that we have now. And the Bruins haven't had to do that in 15 years. They just keep being good all the time. And now, sure, they've still got Pasta and Mac, and that's all they've got. Nothing down the middle, no one coming to save them, no one in this league looking to do them a favor. They're finally done. They're finally going to get to feel what I felt, what you feel. I mean, I feel pretty good about my team. It's finally over. Hey, man. You good? No. No, I'm not. Look, I know you lost, but it's just one game. Who are these rookies? Who's Lorai? Oh, yeah, Lorai. Yeah, he's like Carlo, but with better hands. Carlo, but with hands. Okay. And Pacha? Oh, you haven't heard? He's supposed to be the next Bergeron. Not really, obviously. Your core retired. You're not supposed to keep winning. You're supposed to rebuild. I mean, that's the point, right? Your franchise pillars retire and you get new ones. Right? It's not that hard, right? You just get more pillars. This is my life forever, isn't it? This is your life forever, yes. Yeah.
Low quality fans of a high quality Bruins team, that is a dub! 9-0-1. Just beat the Leafs, the undermanned Boston Bruins, your undermanned Boston Bruins, beat the Toronto Maple Leafs in a shootout, had a disastrous minute and a half there, don't get me wrong, but that was a pretty good effort. Pretty good effort from a team missing 5 of its starters, 3 of which are on defense, including their top pair. Not bad. You know, I get comparisons to Steve Dangle every now and again. I mean, we do a similar thing. He started 12 years before I did, or whatever it was. I feel like we're very different in our approaches. My franchise is not trying to kill me. I mean, I guess you could argue it is sometimes, but his franchise is trying to kill him. But I gotta imagine a lot of people are gonna watch his video for this one. Gotta feel like this is gonna be a popular one amongst non-Leafs fans to check out his channel. I'm probably going to go check it out too. I'm not going to lie. Yes, thank you for noticing. This is a Patra jersey because I have absolutely zero chill. Should not have purchased this. Did anyway. It was for the skit. It's a tax write-off, right? So the government pays for it, I think. What a game. This was by far the most fun game we've had this season, in my opinion. Like, this was the most fun from start to finish to watch, which is funny because the first period was so unbelievably non-eventful. It was very low-event hockey, which we'll get to. But let's talk a little bit about this Leafs team we're playing for the first time this year, right? Playing in our barn. They're 5-3-1. They have an excellent power play, 5th in the league. They're terrible penalty kill, which isn't going to matter against us, obviously. They're 26th in the league there. Okay offense, 13th, I think they're ranked, so middling, and middling defense, 15th. So they haven't hit their stride. They have a bunch of new pieces. They have some injuries. I want to kind of even this talk out because you want to talk about missing players, McCabe and Timmins. I understand that McAvoy and Grizz, you could argue pretty well, are better than McCabe and Timmins. But fair is fair. They're missing 2 of their defensemen. I'm really not going to be able to point at anyone and be like, bad game. Analytics didn't love Coyle's defensive game. I thought Coyle was brilliant for the eye test. Maybe it's just me. I thought he was all over the place. There's some mistakes that happened, but man, Samsonov and Wall, the goaltending duo for the Toronto Maple Leafs, couldn't be having more opposite starts. Samsonov is 2-1-0. Well, now 2-1-1. He has a 3.99 goals allowed average before this game. I don't know what it is at this point. And an 841 save percentage. He actually had a really tremendous game. I thought he was really good in a lot of areas. But he hasn't had a lot of tremendous games before this. So I once again was sitting here going, why are teams playing their worst goalie against us? Because Wall, 3-2-0 to start the season, a 1.89 goals allowed average, and a 942 save percentage. Teams are not playing their hotter goalies against us, and I genuinely don't know why. I get the whole, like, well, the Bruins don't have a super powerful offense. I get that. Super get that. We keep winning the games, though. Like, do they only look at the goals for column? No one looks to the wins column? The wins column? The wins, 9-0-1. 19 points. A franchise record point streak to start the season. Directly after a season where we broke the record for most points in a single season. Standings points. The win column. On our end, these lines would not stay these lines. Zacha, Patra, Pasternak. Patra's getting first line minutes. I love it so much. Marchand, Coyle, DeBrusk, JVR, Geeky, Frederick, Heinen, Beecherstein. Okay, we're shuffling the top a little bit. I get it. We're missing a couple guys. Cool. This was actually, if Forbort had been able to go, we could see how this would have gone, but this was exactly how I predicted the bottom lines to go. Lindholm, Shattenkirk, Lohrei, Carlo, Wotherspoon, Mitchell. I expected Forbort to be in that Wotherspoon slot if he could go. Pretty obvious. That is not a grouping that gives you a ton of confidence. Shattenkirk has been good, I think. Pretty good to start the year. To put him on the first pair, oh, scary. That was scary. And Carlo was great. I mean, the whole team. Swayman and net. Sway is now 5-0-0 to start the season, by the way. He goes into this game with a 1.26 goals allowed average and a 957 save percentage. Both of those would get worse. Who cares? He had a 943 in this game, so his save percentage goes down. Hashtag blessed. Patra's 10th game, as you already know, he is not being sent back down. It doesn't mean he can't be sent back down. He can be sent back down. It just makes no sense to do that. So he's sticking around. We are officially burning the first year of his ELC. Burning. Using it. This is the first year of his ELC being used. I feel like I've said that too often, burning it. And I feel like some people are getting confused going, oh, do we forfeit a year of it? No, we are using a year of his entry-level contract. Year one. Forbort, Lucic, Lauko, Grizz, all out for injury reasons. McAvoy, of course, is out for his 4-game suspension. This is game 1. It does sound like there was an announcement from Friedman. It sounds like McAvoy is appealing that suspension. At best, it will take a game off of it by the time all of this is sorted out. I wouldn't hold my breath. This feels like one that's pretty easy to uphold. On one thing and one thing alone, the puck was nowhere near the play. And we're not going to go back into that, but I'd be really shocked if they drop this one down. It's just too obvious that this was a hit that shouldn't have happened. Just shouldn't have happened. You may notice Zaboral wasn't called up. My take on that is RIP, bro. I don't think it has to do with waivers. I don't think it has to do with anything other than they don't have faith in Zaboral right now. And I think that pretty much does it, unfortunately. He will still be a 8th or 9th D for this team. He'll be called up, blah, blah, blah. But the fact that right now he's not a 9th defenseman for us it's just saying a lot. It's just saying a lot. So, bummer for him. We'll see if he can work his way out of it. Like, comment, subscribe. Nailed it. Yeah, a really, really big bummer to him. We'll move on, though. The Wotherspoon call-up does kind of shock me. I set expectations for Lohrei last video, or 2 videos ago, and my expectations were low. He hasn't looked tremendous in the AHL. Didn't look bad, but didn't look great. And then he made me look like an idiot, which is awesome. Happy 900 games to Shattenkirk as well. I think that's it. I think we can start talking about this game. Other than the fact, thank you for the members. Again, we're up to like 20 members, guys. That's awesome. Thank you so much. We're going to work on more stuff on that end. Anyway, we'll move on. Let's talk about this game. Drops! First note is 1 minute and 9 seconds left. The first 17 minutes of this period was extremely low event. And I think that's by design from the Bruins' end. They were simply looking to settle in. They weren't overstretching themselves. They weren't putting themselves in bad positions. They were snuffing everything out defensively. The commentators, who I'm just not even going to say the names anymore because it drives me nuts, were so... Ray wasn't. Steve was. I said the names. So badly wanted the Leafs to win this. So badly. They were getting... The Bruins were out shooting the Leafs in the first period. They outchanced them. Had more high danger chances. Just better scoring opportunities in general. And all we heard about the entire first is how sloppy the Bruins were playing and how the Leafs offense is humming. It's crazy that they haven't scored yet. If you were watching the game, you would be really confused by the statements. Like, really confused. We'll move on. 109 left. And this is such an awesome battle by Heinen, who's directly next to Samsonov, to win the puck from a forest of legs, and then as he's falling over, bumps it forward to Lohrei, who's up at the blue line. And Lohrei is going to fakes it. The forwards, all three of them, collapse in. They just take one big stride, and Lohrei goes, thank you. Collects, fires this over to Carlo in the right circle, who's going to see that he has Zacha, and because of all the space the forwards created by moving up, the defenseman, Klingberg, should have been on Zacha. I'm not really sure what he was doing, but they were too distant from the center of the slot. And Carlo flings this just directly into the slot, and Zacha just gets to hammer this past a very, very out-of-position Samsonov. Out of position isn't fair, because he was set up very well for a Carlo shot, and was trusting his defense to not allow a guy to be standing in the slot uncovered, but that didn't happen. And so he had to deal with the results, which is a puck going right by him, where he never even made a play on it. And it looks like he's way out, but, I mean, if you take away your defenseman, it's going to look like goalies are out of position a lot, as pucks easily go by them. Unless that goalie is Swayman, which we're going to get to that. 30 seconds later, huge chance, in front of the net, save has been made, puck is dribbling through the crease, or just in front of the crease, and DeBrusk's there trying to swat this by Samsonov, and they end up blowing the play dead. And there's this just angst of, what the fuck are you blowing it dead for? Liljegren was down in the corner. I'm sure you've seen the replay at this point. Marchand and Liljegren went into the corner, and Liljegren needed help getting off the ice. I really hope he's doing well. This is nothing to... I hate having a conversation about an injury and people being like, you don't care. Like, I do care. I care about these guys. I don't want to see injuries like this. The broadcast during intermission was talking about a suspension for Marchand. There was no call on the play. How? And then every other, like, analyst, especially the ref analyst, which I forgot his name was, like, no, there was nothing there. Liljegren and Marchand are going in. Liljegren makes contact first against him. Marchand gets his stick around him. That's a leverage play. If you want to argue, because it does look like the stick gets his left leg a little bit. If you want to argue that's tripping, fine. It's a 2-minute call. Totally agree with that. Or somewhat disagree, but it's fine. We can have that like back and forth debate and disagree, whatever. But to say that this was like a malicious, dirty play. I mean, we see that play go into the corner with the guys tying their sticks around the other guy's waist all the time. Multiple times a game. And Liljegren came in and made contact with Marchand and put his body in front of him. He put himself in that position. And again, if you want to say Marchand was irresponsible with a stick, fine. But to act like this was some malicious thing just blows my mind. I know he has a history and a reputation, but this was not some sort of trying to take the guy down kind of thing. That seems really clear to me. And I'm surprised by the outcry for a suspension for it. 1-0, we're going to the second period. And 1 minute in, Freddie wins a board battle to get the puck to JVR, who swings around Samsonov's net and feeds Geekie, who is all alone in front of Samsonov. It takes him a second to settle, and then he fires this and doesn't get underneath it enough because the Leafs goaltender jumps out, gets a pad on it, and bounces it away. In a game like this, 1-goal game against this team, the defense core that you have, knowing you're going to slow down later in the game where you should, Gotta bury those chances. And then 30 seconds later, we bury a chance. So I was a lot happier about it. It starts with a block shot in our zone, and then the team is just sprinting up the ice to get a chance going. And Marchand and DeBrusk are going to lead the way. It's DeBrusk on the left wall. He's going to skate in. Marchand just beats his defender, Legason, or however you say his name, Legason. He just jumps ahead of him. And this is the softest, most beautiful pass. DeBrusk just chips it to Marchand, lands right in his stick. He gets a chance in on Samsonov alone. Save made. Low pad. Marchand was so smart with how he shot this because the rebound comes right back out. And while DeBrusk stayed with the play, Brody did not. Maybe swap those defenders. I might be confusing all of you. The defender with DeBrusk, though, did not continue fighting for that play. And so DeBrusk just gets to jump into the slot, collect a loose puck, and fire it past Samsonov. It's 2-0, and you've worked so hard for this lead. You've worked so hard for it. 3:38 in, tripping on Pasternak. We're going to the penalty kill. And we kill it, but we're probably lucky to. Swayman made some huge saves, but there were a couple open nets that the puck was bobbling on sticks for. Probably a little lucky to kill this one. And then 6 minutes in, Lohrei just slowly mesmerizing the defense to attack as he just weaves his way over the blue line. Gets in, everyone collapses, gets into the slot. They all collapse on him. He dishes it to Zacha in the slot all alone, just bounces it away from himself. Zacha's coming in. No dice. I think he misses wide on this. Maybe Samsonov got a piece, but I think he misses wide. And then the puck goes back the other way. And 30 seconds later, it's a long pass down to Matthews, who's quickly going to bump this over to Marner on the left side. He's going to take the zone. Carlo's in front of him. The way Marner shifts his weight, man, he's such an impressive skater. He's so agile. He cuts in. Carlo gets a little too distance from him, and he's going to fire this low glove on Swayman. Looks like Swayman's going to have it. Lohrei tips it with his stick, and it ends up going under Swayman's glove, and it's 2-1. A little bit brutal, a little bit of friendly fire. We love to tip shots past our own goaltenders. We really do. A minute and 1 second later. So Zacha had a great chance, didn't capitalize, and then we get scored on immediately. And then the Leafs turned it on. They're barreling down on us. Multiple failed clearances, but none worse than Shattenkirk attempting to clear up the right wall. It gets grabbed and knocked down, and all the forwards were already pressed up high. Pretty much all of them. And so the puck gets quickly moved over to Matthews, who's in that left circle. And he's just going to hammer this on net. And I was pissed at Lindholm in this one. Because Lindholm is 3 feet in front of Swayman. And then Matthews takes that shot from the left circle, the inside of the left circle, and ends up beating Swayman low glove, I think, again. Now, I was surprised that Swayman didn't have this, but Lindholm is in no man's land. He's not covering anybody. He's just standing in front of the goalie. There's no battle going on around him. There's no other players around him. He's just standing there. And then, this is, midway through the second period, almost midway through the second period. I looked at his ice time, which was already up to 16 minutes or something like that, just right there around. And I went, okay, you know what? I'll give him a break. It's 2-2. We're going to live with this. We're just going to move on. 9:04 in. The Leafs they're moving, man. And Carlo is going to go for holding. Swayman. I don't think something like this should be happening on the penalty kill where you've allowed 2 guys to get in on your goalie. But Swayman, they do a quick give and go to each other, and Swayman just dives and gets the smallest piece of the puck to keep it out. A gorgeous save. We were lucky to kill this one too, and we're going to go into the third. It's 2-2. Lindholm's already up to 19 minutes played after 2 periods. Dude's a stud. 5:02 in to the third period. Geekie fires a feed through the slot to Lohrei, and it looks like he's going to bury it. It goes off of his foot. It goes in on Samsonov. Save made. Lohrei recollects as he's going past the goal line, tries to bounce it off the back of the goalie and in. It doesn't. Samsonov turns, so now he's lying on his side, staring into his net, mooning the crowd, and the puck's like behind his ass. And Lohrei goes, free puck. Jumps on it, tries to flick it over him, and again, Samsonov doesn't know what's going on at all. He's giving guys pink eye, just shooting gas directly out from the net. That's a little vulgar. They blow the play dead. The refs lost the puck. I can't be mad because I get it. I get it. Samsonov put up a wall. Like you think he's lying on the puck because he's lying still too, by the way. He must have thought he had it because he's not moving at all. It's fine. They blew it dead. It's painful, but the refs have a job to do, and that's not something I'm going to get upset about. 11:34 left. Holmberg takes a really dumb penalty. Takes DeBrusque down behind a play. Interference. Going to the power play for the first time this game. Off the first faceoff, Marchand beats his guy to the slot with the puck and gets taken down. No call. That was a tough one to swallow. Also, no dice in the power play, and it was butt cheeks. So that'll cheer you up. That'll cheer you up. Patra, I thought, had a real tough game until the last 2 minutes of this one. His last shift was awesome. Just controlling the entire play, multiple puck retrievals, setting up multiple shots. Really good stuff. We're going to go to overtime. Overtime is eventful and terrible. We do get a power play in it. It's a horrible power play. Nothing happens. No dice. You hate to see it. We're going to go to the shootout. And DeBrusque is going to start it, and he's so smooth with it. He flies down the ice, puts it on his forehand, and you know he's going top shoulder. Like, you know he's going blocker shoulder every time. In this one, instead of just the laser beam that he likes to do, it felt like this time he lofted it. Just kind of boop, right over the shoulder and in. 1-0 in the shootout. We'll take it. Nylander, smooth skating of his own. Smooth moves, too. And looks like he's going to beat Swayman to the blocker side. Sway's too good. Gets the pad there. Stones him. Coyle, he's going to casually float down the slot and then hammer this 5-hole. And then Matthews dekes Swayman's legs open. And looks like he's got a freebie. Swayman still gets a piece of it, and it skitters through his legs and out the other side. Never finds the net. That's a shootout win. Your Boston Bruins are 9-0-1. Who has more fun than us? Who has more fun? Don't answer that. Please don't answer that. Game notes. This is a great hockey game. This is a great hockey game. It's a great game of hockey. This is good hockey. It was a good hockey game. I thought Patra struggled for a large portion of this game, but it just goes to show that he just doesn't get down on himself. He came in late in the third, less than 2 minutes left in the third. He's trusted out there. He's winning puck battles, creating chances. He's just a good hockey player, man, even on his off nights. He's got a lot of growing to do. He's going to get better. I mean, he has to get better. This franchise is really leaning on him now, but he's gonna. And even on his off nights, he has moments where you go, this guy's got something. Even if you can't always see it, the guy's got something. Lindholm, almost 30 minutes. He should have been first star, in my opinion, just for putting the defensive corpse on his back. He really just should have. Swayman was great, though, and deserved it, too. The Lohrei debut, 1 assist. Almost 22 minutes of ice time. And this chart. Guys, it's not just the analytics. Lohrei was awesome. Smooth with it, great defensively, knocked away 2 Bertuzzi scoring chances, which looked like open nets. Just awesome. I can't believe he had the debut he had. I really can't. I'm so happy. We had 3 rookies in the lineup, and all of them. I mean, Beecher's not trusted with a lot of ice time, but he's winning faceoffs, and he's doing a solid job of that fourth line. Patra and Lohrei, if they become more pillars of this franchise, and all of a sudden it's Pasta, and it's Patra, and it's McAvoy, and it's Lohrei, and yeah, I'm pretty okay with that. Jesus. Too early to say. Too early to say for Patra, but you got to feel good about it. Coyle from the dot went 18 of 22. I think that played a huge part in this game, and I feel like that deserves a shout out. And I thought he was pretty good, even though the analytics from that chart I just showed you weren't great for him defensively, but I actually thought he was really good. The last game, though, I'm so proud of this team, man. I'm so proud of them. They're undermanned, still bringing it to teams that, on paper, should have won. We have 3 rookies in the lineup, along with a few guys who wouldn't typically be in an NHL lineup. I just got to be proud of them. Be really, really impressed with this team right now. And with that being said, the goaltending has been phenomenal. And it's a huge part of our success. Those of you who are pointing out, like, The only reason we're this good is the goalies. Once again, the goalies are part of the team. Some of you have sent me messages like, wow, the goalies. I'm not referring to you. I'm referring to the people who are like, hey, the only reason we're good are the goalies. They're a huge reason we're good. And also, yeah, they're on our team. That's why we have them. Just really proud of the guys. How many goalies, if you were to make a list of the best goalies in the league right now, how many can you name before you name both of our goaltenders? 12? Can you name 12? 10? Can you get to 8? Can you? Vasilevsky, I can name. Even though he's not playing right now, I can still pretty confidently say that. Shesterkin. Sorokin. Maybe Georgiev. Ottinger's in there. Saros. I'm purposely trying not to say either of the Bruins goalies right now. I don't think all those guys are better than both Ullmark and Swayman. But those are the guys you could definitely argue are right there, right? Can you name a 7th one? Like, who would you put there? Maybe I'm just forgetting someone, but Shesty, Vasilevsky, Sorokin, Saros, Ottinger, and Georgiev, even though I don't... Man, maybe I'm just wrong about Georgiev. I don't know. He's playing really well. I just never really thought he'd be the guy somewhere, but look at him now. I can't think off the top of my head of a 7th guy that I'd put before Ullmark and Swayman, or even debatably put before them. That's awesome. And I just hope it is not lost on any fan of the Boston Bruins how fucking lucky we are to have brilliant goaltending. It's like a quarterback, man. If you've got a great football team but a shit quarterback, it is the most infuriating thing on the planet. You've got a great baseball team, but your starting pitcher rotation is... It's not very fun to watch. Losing 9-7 all the time isn't very fun to watch. We're pretty lucky. I feel good about it. Go Bees. Go Bees! Thanks again to those of you who have joined the YouTube membership program, and a special thank you to our top line tier members, Justin Barnard, Nick Zatrullo, and Pincent, and of course, a huge thank you to our all-star tier members, Doots42, Jeremy, A Tasty Snack, The Only Newts, DeKingery, Jonathan Harvey, and of course the Spoked Brown Tiger. Thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate the support. You are all studs. And as usual, go Bees.